Good morning. In the previous lecture, we talked about 14 principles of management given by Henry Fayol. Today, we are going to elaborate and understand these 14 principles of management. So, I will read out and explain every single line so that it will help you to understand the topic in a better way. First principle of division of work. According to this principle, the work is divided into different kinds such as technical, financial, commercial, security operations, accounting, and managerial. It is assigned to employees as per their qualities and capabilities. It helps in improving efficiencies and expertise of employees, which ultimately turns into expected productivity level. So here we understand that work is divided amongst employees as per their qualities, skills, education, capabilities, knowledge, experience. In this way, we can achieve our expected result, expected outcome. Now, we move on to next page. Point number 2, we have principle of authority and responsibility. Authority is the right to take decisions. It is necessary to get the things done appropriately from subordinates. Now, we have already discussed what is management. Management is all about getting the work done from subordinates. For that, we have to assign authority and responsibility to the manager. Authority always comes with the responsibility. If the manager is given the authority to complete a task within a given time, he should be held responsible if he does not complete the work in given time. Manager should have proper authorities to take managerial decision on his own in respect to the goal. So here we understand that authority and responsibility go hand in hand. When we are giving someone the authority to take decisions, that person should be held responsible for the results we get. Point number 3, we have principle of discipline. Not only in day-to-day business, but in day-to-day life, we have seen discipline is something very important. According to Fayol, discipline is the most essential thing in the organization. Employees must obey and respect the rules that govern the organization. So, whatever rules are made, whatever guidelines are given, every employee must respect those rules and guidelines. Discipline helps to achieve the goals in the organization. Good discipline is the result of effective leadership. So here manager has to lead the team so that we can see discipline in the organization. There must be a clear understanding between the management and workers regarding the organization rules. Basic discipline should be observed at all levels of management. Point number 4, principle of unity of command. Each member of organization should receive orders from only one superior. This principle helps in managing conflicts and solving disputes among people in organization. It also helps in avoiding confusion. So, what happens when we receive orders from multiple superiors? That means more than one superior, it creates confusion. So, for that, we should receive orders from one superior only. If an employee receives commands from more than one authority, he will get confused and will not be able to take decision about whose orders should be followed. This is a wrong approach. For this, organization hierarchy should be well defined. Each employee should know his immediate superior and should receive orders from him only. This can be seen in the picture also. There are two approaches given on the picture: right approach and wrong approach. In the right approach, we can see the superior, the circle in the red color, is giving orders to three employees, three subordinates, the circles in the green color. And in the wrong approach, we can see there are two superiors giving order to three subordinates at the same time. So, in the wrong approach, it is going to create confusion. So, to avoid that confusion, we have to choose the right approach. Point number 5, principle of unity of direction. This principle states that there should be one head and one plan in every organization. Each group in the organization should have the same objective and the group should be directed by one manager using single plan. So, besides an individual plan, there should be a common goal and common plan to achieve that goal in the organization. And we should have one manager to lead a particular team in the organization. Point number 6, principle of subordination of individual interest to organizational interest. According to this principle, the interest of an individual must be given less importance than the interest of the organization. So, here we understand that every individual has a particular interest or a particular objective. But before that, we should understand the common objectives of the organization. While taking decision in the organization, the manager should always consider the interests of the whole group rather than the interest of a single employee. Similarly, the employee should protect the interests of the organization first, and his personal interest should be subordinated. For example, in every game, the players are always thinking about winning the match as a team rather than their individual records. So, when we keep in mind the organizational objective, it will develop an individual also at the same time. Point number 7, we have principle of centralization. Centralization refers to the concentration of powers and authorities. In some organizations, this power is vested in one hand or few hands. This situation occurs in the small organizations. But if the size of the organization is large, then there is a decentralization of the power or authority. So, in the large organizations, we divide the work, and so we have to divide authority and powers. This is called decentralization of powers and authority. According to this principle, there must be a proper balance between centralization and decentralization in the organization. This is to be done according to the size of the organization, nature of the activity, etc. Point number 8, we have principle of remuneration. Here, the term remuneration refers to the amount which is paid for the work done. For example, salary and wages. Appropriate remuneration to staff or employees is the principle to keep them satisfied financially as well as retain them for a long span of time within the organization. So, as long as we pay employees good salary or fair remuneration, they keep working with the organization. The fair remuneration affects on the productivity and efficiency level in total. The remuneration should be fixed by taking into consideration the skill, expertise, knowledge, tenure, cost of living, market trend, profitability of organization, etc. Point number 9, we have principle of scalar chain. Scalar chain means the hierarchy of authority from the top level to the lower level for the purpose of communication. This helps to ensure the orderly flow of information and communication. Traditionally, organizations used to frame large scalar chain, which is time consuming. For example, a general manager informs the decision to respective functional manager, then functional manager will pass it to supervisor, the supervisor will inform it to foreman, and so on according to level of authority. For avoiding this longer chain and to take speedy decisions, cross communication or direct communication is followed by various organizations, which is known as gangplank. For direct communication, proper permission of the authority is necessary. So here the ultimate aim is to save time. Earlier it was very time consuming. You can see in the picture it is given. So when point D has to communicate to point G, it will go as per the scalar chain, right from D to C, C to B, B to A to E, E to F, then F to G. So it is very time consuming. So it will take time to take right decisions. So for that purpose, we can allow D to communicate to G directly. And this is called gangplank. Point number 10, we have principle of order. This principle is based on a place for everything and everything in its place. That means everything should be available in the organization at the right time and at the right place. Human resources and materials should be in the right place at the right time for maximum efficiency. Human resources should be placed at the right place and on right job. The principle focuses on the proper utilization of physical and human resources. Point number 11, we have principle of equity. Management should be fair as well as friendly to the subordinates. While dividing the work, delegating the authorities, deciding the monetary terms, etc., there should not be any discrimination. Here discrimination refers to, in Hindi it is called bhedbhav between the employees. So there should not be any discrimination between the employees. Every employee should be treated equally. It is also suggested that the remuneration or salary or wages we pay should not depend on the department but at the level on which subordinates are working. The employees working on the same level but in different departments should be paid same wages. This equity will help in avoiding conflicts in the organization. Point number 12, principle of stability of tenure. Here, tenure refers to the span of time employee is associated to your organization. So, at the time of recruitment of employees, the management should assure them about stability of tenure or job security. It plays very important role in creating sense of belongingness among the employees. Insecurity in job always affect the efficiency of employees adversely, whereas job security minimizes employee turnover ratio. So when employees feel very secure in the organization, they are going to work for a longer period of time. So it will reduce employee turnover ratio. Point number 13, principle of initiative. Initiative refers to volunteering to do the work in an innovative way. The freedom to think and work on new ideas encourages employees to take initiative while working on given tasks. So employees should be motivated to come up with some innovative ideas. These initiatives should be welcomed by the manager, including thorough discussion on those new ideas. It also helps in creating healthy organizational culture. Point number 14 and the last principle given by Henry Fayol is principle of esprit de corps, teamwork. Henry Fayol has given emphasis on teamwork. Esprit de corps means union is strength. Running any organization is a group activity, and human resources are the valuable asset of the organization. So if all employees are working as a union and with mutual trust, the difficulties can be solved very quickly. Therefore, as a leader, manager should create a spirit of teamwork and understanding among employees to achieve organizational goal easily. So here we understand that team always wins the game. As an individual, one cannot achieve the goal, but as a team, it is very easy and very quick to achieve those goals. So it was all about 14 principles of management given by Henry Fayol. So in the next video lecture, we will have Frederick Winslow Taylor's scientific management theory. Thank you very much.